Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on the Financial Turmoil Explained channel. I'm glad to have you guys here on this Friday, the 26th of August, 2022. Now, let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here and take a look at what's going on. First thing I wanted to talk about is, according to this article, it says John McAfee, his ex-girlfriend, says he faked his death. And she says that he's still alive in Texas. I find this is there's going to be a Netflix documentary released today about his ex-girlfriend revealing what happened. So this might be very interesting, It says John McAfee, an internationally recognized pioneer in antivirus software, who's believed to have died in June of 2021, led a strange and scary life that is only growing more mysterious. She's saying evidently that John McAfee faked his death and is still alive in Texas, his ex-girlfriend claims on a Netflix documentary. And so is that a picture of him now? Him seated on that bench there? Because I'm looking at this picture. It was taken, I guess, a few years ago. A small picture here. And it doesn't look quite like the same man. Yeah, it is. I think he's got more tattoos. Yeah, I can see the shoulder tattoo. It's the same tattoo on his shoulders. But he looks like he's got a few new tattoos, and it looks like he has got a little bit older. Yeah, it's the same individual here. And the thing is did he do that? I mean, that's incredible. So that's a wild story. I mean, that's really something. If it's true that he's still alive, that would be really something. A Netflix documentary called Running with the Devil, The Wild World of John McAfee will be released on Netflix on August 24th, 2022. It looks like that man's lived one heck of an interesting life. Here's another picture of him right here. Anyway, moving on, let's take a look here. Now, this could be the next pandemic, for all we know. I mean, I don't know. But they got something called the tomato flu. And evidently you sprout tomatoes from your arms. No, I'm just kidding, guys. But I guess you have these red blotches that look like tomatoes that appear on your arms and hands. Right now it's spreading among people. It says mostly children. In India, it says it's probably caused by hand and foot and mouth disease. They say about this illness that it's usually mild, but in this case it's not that mild. I read about it here. And what I read about was that it causes very high fever. You get these blotches all over your arms and hands, these big red blotches that look like tomatoes. That's why it's called the tomato flu. And I think that isn't there a hoof and mouth disease amongst animals that's extremely contagious? Extremely contagious. It just seems to me, and now maybe I'm confusing the two. Maybe this is something entirely different. I'm just saying. I just don't know at this point in time. I might be confusing it with something else. But anyway, tomato flu. Can you imagine such a thing? I mean, we just had the monkey thing going, and now we got the tomato thing going. And I mean, I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, you might as well cry as when you spill the milk. You might as well cry as laugh, or laugh as cry, I should say. Anyway, with all these viruses coming out of left field, at us, after a while, I mean, it's gonna get to the point of ridiculous, and we're gonna have to sit up and we're gonna have to say, where are all these coming from? Is this normal? Anyway. Moving on. Is this the end of the Yuan? Well, you guys know what the Yuan is? It's the Chinese currency. The yuan. No, I think another name for it's the renminbi. It's a Chinese currency. It says the yuan will be increasingly be used as a lever to fend off growth risks from capital outflows and heavy debt burdens. It says the recent fall in the currency has much further to go, with mounting risk as China abandons its fixed exchange rate regime altogether. It might seem odd that the yuan has been weakened against the dollar while China's trade surplus has been ballooning. But this gets to the heart of China's problem and why a potentially weaker yuan is likely to be part of the solution. So we see an awful lot of currencies falling against the dollar now, as the Fed has got this crazy idea that they're going to fight inflation, which isn't working anyway, but it's just destroying the top side of the U.S. economy slowly but surely. And they're not giving up this notion easily either. Let's take a look at this. This is what we got for Atlantic tropical cyclones right now, and this is not normal. Not normal at all. Something's going on with the weather, guys, and I've been watching hurricanes for years. I report on hurricanes on my channel called Delta Report. I report on the worst hurricanes. And for years now, I have been plotting hurricanes and watching them and watching hurricane season, and I have never seen anything like this hurricane season. It's dead. There almost is no hurricane season practically this year. It's the weakest season I've seen in ages. I haven't just seen nothing happening down there. And these two little X's, these are just nothings practically. This one has a 10% chance of cyclone formation, which is this one's got a 0% chance of cyclone formation. This time of year, there should be like 3 of them across here. Cyclones, actual cyclones. Nothing this year. So something's really up with the weather. Plus, we're getting these crazy storms that'll come along and make a flood, and then we get drought. What's up with that? So we got drought, opposite flood. We got flood and drought, but we got nothing in between. What happened to when we used to have like a normal rainfall? You know, it rains to make the crops grow. Now we got drought and we got flood and nothing in between. Okay, let's take a look at the gold price today. $17.45 is down $13.20 today so far. Let's take a look at silver. Silver's at $19.11 and it's got tremendous volatility. Up and down like a yo-yo. Crying out loud. Right now it's on downswing. At $19.11 it's down 15 cents. Helter-skelter chart. It's just going bing, bang, bing, bang. Like a pinball. When you get the pinball machine going and the ball's just spinning around the table like crazy and flying up and hitting the glass. It's like, look at that thing go. Anyway, take a look at this. This is our cryptocurrency market today at 1027 billions. What we're seeing is Bitcoin price at 21,468 and an Ethereum price of 1648. I'm going to tell you guys what, watch this thing go. When the Fed finally does give up the ghost on what they're trying to do right now. But watch this thing drop. It could drop a lot between now and then. But once this thing takes off, it's not going to kill. They're not going to kill Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But like I say, your money's a bit safer in gold and silver. And the reason why is because there's a better floor underneath the price of gold and silver, which is the mining production cost. Now, Bitcoin does have a mining production cost, but it's got more room to play with the price. So, I mean, Bitcoin could go down to $10,000 and still have probably enough room for mining production costs. But gold and silver can't do that. Especially silver. I think the mining production cost right now, I'm estimating it at $16. So if silver goes below $18, there's not going to be enough room for a profit margin. As simple as that. And so it could be huge problems if that were to happen. Dow Jones Industrial Average right now is at 32,000 887. It's down 404 points. This is the Friday I was telling you about. I told you guys about this earlier in the week, that this could be leading up to a very black Monday, because the markets could suddenly realize, hey, the Fed don't have our back right now. The Fed wants us to have some pain. And the Fed's not going to stop what they're doing until there's considerable pain in the system. When they come to that realization, they're going to be like, who's going to get out first? I'm going to get out first. Me. I'm going to get out first, and I'm going to collect a higher price for my stocks or whatever I'm selling, because I'm going to get out first. That's what we could have happen. And so we could see a shockingly, at a certain point, we could see a shockingly bad situation happen in the markets. The Dow Jones, the S&P 500, Russell, all of them. NASDAQ, all of them. When the realization occurs that the Fed's not going to stop this process until they bring things down. The Fed's going to keep going, in other words, until they get down to a certain point of pain where it starts to, where the pain becomes unbearable, and then they're going to relent. You know, it's the old toothache thing. You're scared of going to the dentist. You got toothache. So it starts aching, and you put up with a bit of pain, and then it quits aching. You're like, oh wow, this is great. It'll last for only a week, and then a week later, the toothache comes back, but it's worse than it was before. So then it goes away again, and you're good for about a month, and then it comes back with a vengeance, and you got to put a rag around your face or something. You're still like, I'm not going to go to the dentist. Eventually, what's going to happen is that tooth is going to rot to the point where it sends you to the dentist with maybe a swollen face or whatever. That's what happened with me, you know. It gets to the point where it aches so bad you just can't stand it, and you're like, I don't care. I'm going to go to the dentist with this thing because I can't stand the pain of this thing anymore. That's the thing it's going to get you to. And I'm going to tell you what happens then. This is what's going to happen with the Fed. They're like, okay, we're ready for the parade. Bring it on. Bring it on. Okay? It's like the toothache. The stock markets and the markets, they don't know where to stop. They will go down, and they will cause such pain to the American people and to the world in general that in the end they'll have to say, okay, we won't do that anymore. We're not going to do the quantitative tightening anymore, and we'll go back to quantitative easing. We'll do whatever it takes to stop this pain when the pain really hits. Right now, see, they've experienced no pain, so they're all this bravado, bravery, you know, because they haven't experienced the pain yet. But when it really hits them, then you'll see how weak and sniveling they really are, and how quick they'll turn on it. But the markets now, right now, are going to have to realize that they're going to have to go through some pain. And when they realize that, then they're going to be first guy to get out. Going to get out when he can. And that's, I think, what's going to happen at a certain point. It's all a game. This is all a game. And you just got to sit back and watch this poker game. And then you say to yourself, hey, who's going to fold first? What's going to happen? And I'm keeping my eye on this. So I'm telling you that right now, how I think it's going to play out. I know I'm rambling a little bit here. Crude oil, 92.56 for crude oil. Move index today. We saw a drop in the move index today. Let's go to 1 year. Move index has got remarkable, a 10-point drop. I find that a little bit remarkable. The fact that it would drop that much or indicate stability that much. It would drop 10 points. Take a look at bonds today. We're watching these 10-year yield very, very carefully, and the mark we're looking for is 3.25. That's the mark we're looking for. But it's at 3.05 right now, and that's enough to start a downturn in the markets. All the bond yields on the long end right now today are dropping. So we got 3.05 on the 10 years, dropped 2.6 basis points. And the 30 years dropped is at 3.23, and it's unchanged right now. Okay, it says Dow drops 400 points after Powell reiterates, what is this? Fed will continue to raise rates to fight inflation. Yeah, that's what I say. They're going to continue until they get substantial pain. So, I mean, to front run this is to sell and buy back in later. It just seems to me that would be the way to front run this, because that's what the Fed's going to do. I mean, the Fed's just going to keep pushing right now until they get the markets to roll over, and then they're going to turn. Now, if you can just figure out the timing of all that, then that's the way to go. Is just figuring out the timing of all that, when to play it and how to play it. Of course, there's probably a lot of people out there that are going to play that correctly. DXY today, the Dixie. We're looking at 108.22 on the US dollar index. So we've seen a little bit of a dip, but she's bouncing back right now. I consider that to be a very high dollar at 108, but it could go a bit higher. Listen, you guys that are waiting, okay, I know there's a lot of you guys out there who are waiting for this dollar milkshake theory to play out. And guess what? It's playing out right now. This is the dollar milkshake. Right now it's happening. And this is why the dollar's so strong in the DXY. So if you guys are waiting for it in the future and you're holding dollars and stuff, it's happening right now. You're getting the dollar milkshake right now. What the future holds is the opposite, dumping dollars. That's what the future holds. So you're waiting for the future, for this dollar milkshake, and you're going to store up your dollars. It's happening now. It's happening now. With the 108 on the dollar index. It's happening now. This is the dollar milkshake right now. They're supporting the dollar and investments coming into the dollar, and the dollar is playing out its last hurrah right now. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. And don't forget, I have a Patreon channel. It's only $1 a month. And I was supposed to put the link in the description. I was late putting the link in the description yesterday, but I did get it in. Thanks to one of my viewers reminding me. But I'm going to try to get the link in the description today so you guys can join up. It's only $1. $1. It supports my channel. Appreciate you guys' support, and that means you can get a whole year for $12 of shows that I produce over there. I produce podcasts over there, and I talk an awful lot about what used to be the UFO phenomenon. Now they've changed the name of it or whatever, but it's the same old thing, Anyway, we'll catch you guys later, and you guys have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.